यमुना तीरावनचारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी जय विष्णुपाद परमसराज कचर्य स्तोत्र सतसर्वेंग्रे सभै चरणारविंद भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी श्री प्रभुपाद की जय विष्णुपाद परमसराज कचर्य स्तोत्र सतसर्वेंग्रे श्रीमद् भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी श्री प्रभुपाद की अनंत कोटि वैष्णववृंद की all glories to assembled devotees Hare Krishna all glories to assembled devotees Hare Krishna all glories Shri Guru Shri Gauranga Shri Prabhupada की जय। Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshuronmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Shavadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapatakamallam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunadanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakamitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpati Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namaste Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Shri Radha Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Pri Vanchakaltarabhisya Kripa Sindhabhya Vacha Patitanam Pavanabhyo Vaishnavyo Namo Namo Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaur Bhaktaranda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangam Langayate Girim Yatrupatamahu Vande Shri Gurundanataranam Paramanandamadavam Sri Chaitanyeshwaram. Today we are reading from Śrimad Bhāgavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 22, Text number 33, the chapter entitled The Marriage of Kardamuni and Devahuti. Sabharya Saprajakaman Sabharya Saprajakaman Babujenya Virodataha Babujenya Virodataha Sangiya Manasatkirti Sangiya Manasatkirti Sastribhi Surya Gayakai Sastribhi Surya Gayakai Prati Useshvanubaddhena Prati Useshvanubaddhena Hruda Srinvan Hare Katha Hruda Srinvan Hare Katha Sabharya, along with his wife, Saprajaha, along with his subjects, Kaman, the necessities of life, Bubuje, he enjoyed, Anya, from others, Avirodataha, without disturbance, Sangiyamana, being praised, Satkirtihi, reputation for pious activities, Sastribihi, along with their wives, Suragayakaihi, by celestial musicians, Pratyuseshu, at every dawn, Anubadhena, being attached, Hruda, with the heart, Srinvan, listening to Hareha, of Lord Hari, Kataha, the topics. Translation by His Divine Grace Bhaktan Sri Prabhupada. Emperor Swayambhu Manu enjoyed life with his wife and subjects and fulfilled his desires without being disturbed by unwanted principles contrary to the process of religion. Celestial musicians and their wives sang in chorus about the pure reputation of the emperor. And early in the morning, every day, he used to listen to the pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead with a loving heart. Purport. Human society is actually meant for realization of perfection and Krishna consciousness. There is no restriction against living with a wife and children, but the life should be so conducted that one may not go against the principles of religion, economic development, regulated sense enjoyment, and ultimately liberation from material existence. The Vedic principles are designed in such a way that the conditioned souls who have come to this material existence may be guided in fulfilling their material desires and at the same time be liberated and go back to Godhead, back home. It is understood that Emperor Swayambhu Manu enjoyed his household life by following these principles. It is stated here that early in the morning there were musicians who used to sing with the musical instruments about the glories of the Lord. And the emperor with his family personally used to hear about the pastimes of the Supreme Person. This custom is still prevalent in India in some of the royal families and temples. Professional musicians sing with the shanais, and the sleeping members of the house gradually get up from their beds in a pleasing atmosphere. During bedtime also the singers sing songs in relationship with the pastimes of the Lord with shanai accompaniment, and the householders gradually fall asleep remembering the glories of the Lord. In every house, in addition to the singing program, there is an arrangement for Bhāgavatam lectures in the evening. Family members sit down, hold Hare Krishna Kirtan, hear narrations from Śrimad Bhāgavatam and Bhagavad Gita, and enjoy music before going to bed. The atmosphere created by this Sankirtan moment lives in their hearts. And while sleeping, they also dream of the singing and glorification of the Lord. In such a way, perfection of Krishna consciousness can be attained. This practice is very old. As learned from this verse of Śrimad Bhāgavatam, millions of years ago, Swayambhu Manu used to avail himself of this opportunity to live householder life in the peace and prosperity of a Krishna conscious atmosphere. As far as temples are concerned, in each and every royal palace, a rich man's house, inevitably there is a nice temple, and the members of the household rise early in the morning and go to the temple to see the Mangalartik ceremony. The Mangalartik ceremony is the first worship in the morning. In the Artik ceremony, a light is offered in circles before the deities. as are a conch shell and flowers and a fan. The Lord is supposed to rise early in the morning and take some light refreshment and give audience to the devotees. The devotees then go back to the house or sing the glories of the Lord in the temple. The early morning ceremony still takes place in Indian temples and palaces. Temples are meant for the assembly of the general public. Temples within palaces are especially for the royal families. but in many of these palace temples, the public is also allowed to visit. The temple of the king of Jaipur is within the palace, but the public is allowed. If one goes there, he'll see that the temple is always crowded with at least 500 devotees. After the Mangalartik ceremony, they sit down together and sing the glories of the Lord with musical instruments and thus enjoy life. Temple worship by royal family is also mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, where it is stated that those who fail to achieve success in Bhakti Yoga principles within one life are given a chance to take birth in the next family in the next life in a family of a rich man or in a royal family or family of a learned Brahmins or devotees. If one gets the opportunity to take birth in these families, he can achieve the facilities of Krishna conscious atmosphere without difficulty. A child born in that Krishna atmosphere is sure to develop Krishna consciousness. The perfection which he failed to attain in his last life is again offered in this life, and he can make himself perfect without fail. Hare Krishna. Very lengthy purport. I neither have any realization nor do have any qualification, so I seek blessings of all the devotees. Hare Krishna. So, Kardama Muni, after giving his daughter to Kardama Muni, Swayambhu Manu went back. Do you know how long Swayambhu Manu lived? Does anyone have any idea how long Swayambhu Manu lived? I really do not know exactly what is that in terms of the numbers, but it is actually this number. 4,320,000 years into 71. How long? 4,320,000 years into 71 cycles. Now you calculate. So definitely much more than maybe around 720 million years he lived. If this goes like another 14 times like that, 14 Manus change, Brahma says, I'm sleepy now. That much long is Brahma's daytime duration. Anyway, we are not talking about Brahma here. We are talking about Swayambhu Manu. Swayambhu Manu lived for this much long, but he utilized his human life to attain perfection. Not that after staying for 5-6 years in the temple, he is bored and he tried to enjoy the material world. No. Human life is meant for self-realization in Krishna consciousness. Human life is meant to awaken that love of God. Human life is meant to get rid of the impurities so that the love of God that is dormant within our heart would come out. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sadhya Kabanoy, Sravanadi Suddha Chitti Koriye Uday. Srila Prabhupada came to America and he told the Americans, I am not presenting something new to you. Krishna consciousness is dormant in everyone's heart. But today it is covered with dirt. Our heart is covered with dirt. If you utilize human life, human time to cleanse your heart and get rid of the greed, envy, anger, lust, pride, ego, illusion, then what will come out? That pure Krishna consciousness, pure love of God for Krishna will come out. That is the goal of life. You can do this in a married life or you can do this in a brahmachari life. But the goal is to cleanse the heart. Goal is not to enjoy. Goal is to cleanse the heart. So one has to find where he is comfortable at. If he is comfortable at living, comfortable living in ashram, brahmacharya ashram, without any too much agitation. Agitation is there in every ashram actually. Maya attacks in every ashrams. But if you utilize, human life and fight with material energy, because material energy is keeping on pulling us down. Maya is pulling us down. Maya is telling, don't go to Mangalarti, don't go to Bhāgavatam class, don't chant the rounds. Maya keeps on telling you, but you have to keep on rejecting and resisting. And we should resist the temptations of the mind, resist the temptations of the senses, and pursue our Krishna conscious program. But over a period of time, mind will start, when the day mind understands, this guy does not leave me, then mind says, all right, I'll listen. But as soon as the 2 hours chanting is over, mind says, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this. Hey, listen to you 2 hours, now you give me. But one should not give in to the demands of the mind and senses. I don't know how many of you know how a tiger or lion is caught. So what they do is they put a prey, they dig a big hole, and they put a prey there. And this tiger or lion, they'll go jump and to eat the prey, and they cannot come out. For 3 months, they don't feed the food. 2-3 months. Then this tiger or lion, they starve. Just before death, when the tiger doesn't have so much strength, then the hunter come out. He uses the whip. He creates fear in the heart of a tiger. If tiger listens, he'll give a piece of meat. If tiger doesn't listen, he'll beat. In that way, he creates a fear in the heart of the tiger. And finally, tiger understands, if I listen to him, my life will be happy. If I don't listen to him, my life will be miserable. He'll beat me up. But hunter also knows, tiger also knows. They both look for the opportunity. A tiger will look for the opportunity to eat that guy. So because it's getting little piece of meat, tiger gets strength. One day tiger jumps on him to eat him up. But in his hand there are 2 electric rods. Very coolly he touches the tiger. Tiger gets electric shock. Tiger falls down. Tiger will not jump him back. Why? This guy he is more powerful than me. Come here. Tiger will not come. He'll beat the tiger up. Come here. Come. He throws a piece of meat. Eat it. That is how he will train the tiger. But he knows, as long as I have this rod, electric rod, I am safe. Other tiger will eat me up. So likewise, what is our electric rod? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. What is Hare Krishna bhakti process? Train the mind, fight with Maya. What is mind? Maya. Train the mind. Sometimes we fail. That's okay. But the fight should be on. One should not give up the fighting. So we should, Prabhupada, what is the greatness of Srila Prabhupada? Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sent Srila Prabhupada to reclaim all the conditioned souls. Srila Prabhupada, by giving prasad, by giving little kirtan entertainment, and by Bhāgavatam class and book distribution, he made his disciples conquer Maya. Some people could not. But he knew any little progress they would make is an eternal credit. And he achieved it with the drug addicts. When we understand, one day understood, wow. So anybody comes to Hare Krishna movement, what they like? Chanting Hare Krishna mantra, sitting 16 rounds? Nobody likes. They like kirtan is okay. But more than kirtan, what they like? Prasad. Amazing. Honestly speaking, nowadays prasad, not that many items. New Vrindavan, 1971, 72, 73. You know how many items of prasad? 15 items. How many? 15. So everyone would look for Sunday feast. You know? So, Prabhupada writes here, the life should be so conducted that one may not go against the principles of religion, economic development, sense gratification, and ultimately liberation. So as long as your goal is very fixed, nowhere it is said, don't become a pauper. No. Swayambhu Manu was an emperor. He was practicing bhakti. Kardamuni was on material standards very poor. He was also practicing bhakti. They both attained perfection. But of course, Kardamuni attained perfection. It was a mistake. You know? So the point is, what is bhakti? Stay where you are. Be comfortably situated. Then practice. But the problem with the mind is, mind always says, they are happy, I am not. But they are thinking, congregation members are thinking, brahmacharis are very happy. I wish we could come here. But we cannot because they are already married with kids. So always grass on the other side is always green. So that rather than comparing, one should find a comfortable place to practice bhakti and start fighting with material energy. And Prabhupada says, see, Prabhupada morning program, it was given based on the Shastra. Kardamuni would get up in the morning with the music and he would go and attend the Mangalarti and he would listen Bhāgavatam class, the glories of Krishna. So in every palace there is a temple. Prabhupada is mentioning Jaipur temple here. All the family members would come. You know? They would come in the morning, they would come in the evening. But daytime, everyone would work. All right, you work. But morning and evening, you saturate your brain with Krishna consciousness. Then you will go back to Godhead. What is the Kali Yuga? Kali Yuga means material education. There is no God. What is the goal of life? Make money, you'll be happy. This professor is miserable. This teacher is miserable. But he's telling if you make money, you'll be happy. Prabhupada says, if this education is making one person terrorist, another person a thief, another person, with all the mental problems, there is something wrong with the education. But anyway, human life is meant for self-realization. So, here Jaipur temple, I don't know how many of you have been to Jaipur. You have been to Jaipur? Radha Govinda Dev. See, actually Govinda Dev actually. I went. I was impressed. Prabhupada is mentioning 500 devotees in the Mangalarti, right? Now you know how many people? 5,000. People travel, driving probably 1 hour. They are there in Mangalarti. Sunday feast crowd, how many people? 20,000. How many? 20,000 people. Janmashtami, they celebrate 2 weeks. How many people attend Janmashtami? They told me 10 million people attend Janmashtami in 2 weeks. How many? 10 million people. And I'm honest with you, the bhakti I saw there, wow. Once Aarti was over, both sides the temple, you see Govinda like this, but the sides, doors are there. Can you hear? Can you hear me? All the people who came to attend Aarti, they were putting their head on the doors. My Lord, don't forget me. My Lord, don't forget me. Everyone. Wow. They're putting their heads on the door. Please, my Lord. Wow. So much bhakti. When Govindadeva was transferred from, when there was a Muslim attack on Vrindavan temples, then Radha Govindadeva was transferred to Jaipur. I heard when the Lord was brought to Jaipur, Krishna was brought to Jaipur, Govindev, so he needed a place. You know what the king did? Krishna, Radha Govinda has come to Jaipur. We need a place for him, my lord. And they told the king, Raja Jai Singh. Jai Singh said, Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, controller of the entire cosmic manifestation. We should give him the best place. Which is the best place? My bedroom. So he gave his bedroom to Krishna. And he built a place opposite to that, and through his window, he would see Krishna every day. During Janmashtami time, Raja Jai Singh would not go anywhere. He would just, morning and evening for 2 weeks, he would worship Krishna. See, that's why, the way, citizens follow the ruler. Children follow the parents. One day the neighboring king was envious. He realized this. During these 2 weeks of Janmashtami, Raja Jai Singh, he would be very, he would not take part in ruling the kingdom. He would be busy with the Janmashtami celebrations. That is the best time we can conquer. We can conquer this kingdom. You're listening? So what he did, without telling anybody, he declared war. He started conquering. So, he took his entire army, because he knew everyone will be celebrating Janmashtami and everyone will be busy, and there will be, there won't be so much security at the borders, and we can conquer the kingdom. Haribol. With that intent, he came and attacked the borders. You can't believe. You know what happened? When he came to the borders, There he found Jai Singh standing there, fighting. Oof, today is Janmashtami. You are supposed to be at the temple. So there's a big war. This guy was defeated. He ran away. He's thinking, how is it that? How does he know I'm going to come to the borders and attack? Usually this guy should be there at the temple, serving Krishna. But anyway, that guy retreated. That day, this happened in the borders. But that day afternoon, every afternoon what we do in the evening, we open the doors, right? When they opened the doors, Govindadev's body was filled with small arrows. And they said filled with gunpowder. What happened? Actually, Jai Singh was here only. He was worshipping Krishna only. So Krishna went in the form of Jai Singh and he fought the war. Haribol. How many of you liked it? Amazing, right? That's why Jai Singh is, Govindev is considered the deity of Jaipur actually. He protected his devotee from being conquered. Even today, Govindev is considered, Radha Govindev is considered the deity of Jaipur. And Jaipur is named after this King Jai Singh. So, when the ruler has devotion, naturally the citizens will follow that. So, what is the moral that we can learn from here? During Srila Prabhupada's time, I think the only congregation member was George Harrison. Because ISKCON lived in the temples. All the people, whether you are single or married, whether you are a Prabhu or Mataji, everyone would stay in the temples only. There was no congregation. But 50 years later, ISKCON today, it lives outside. 99% of the congregation, they live outside. 19% of congregation lives outside. So, what the residents practice, however sincere they may be, the influence is not so much. But for ISKCON success to happen, the congregation members have to set an example. Actually, temples like New York City, we see like 20-30 people coming to morning program. But other temples, we don't see anybody actually. We have Brahmachari ashram, Brahmacharini ashram. That's why, Prabhus and Matajis, they come to the morning program. But we don't see that happening outside. So for ISKCON success, today, ISKCON success is dependent on the congregation. But also on the temple residents, they have to set such high standards. Any sincere congregation member, when she or he comes, when they come, they realize, hey, these people are amazing. I should also set that example. So, our goal should be pure devotional service. Anybody who stays in the temple, should make pure bhakti, pure devotional service as their goal. I may not be able to follow, but my goal is, what is my goal? Pure devotional service. What is pure devotional service? Anya bilashada sunyam, jnana karmada navratam, anukulyena Krishna anusilanam, bhaktiruttama. I don't have any other desire other than to please Guru and Krishna. Srila Prabhupada and Krishna. I will not take shelter of the speculative knowledge or, any other mundane process. Anukulyena, whatever is favorable for bhakti, I will do that. Whatever is not favorable for bhakti, I will reject it. I will follow the previous acharyas, footsteps of previous acharyas. That is pure bhakti. One should not be lax. First thing is, I will not criticize anybody. What is the first principle? I will not criticize anybody. We will make so much progress if one thing we take it up. What is the first one? I will not criticize anybody. But somebody is criticizing you. What you will do? Accept it, tolerate. Krishna knows what is the reality. Tolerate and accept it. But I will not criticize. If you really want to make progress, don't criticize. I'm talking to myself. No Vaishnava aparadha or Vaishnavi aparadha. No quarrel, no criticism. Okay, then the standards are low. You set the standard. Whether you're a congregation member or a temple resident, you set the standard. People will learn from you. It's very, very important actually. You set the standard. You come to Mangalarti. You chant your rounds attentively. You do the service without expectation. I don't remember whether it is Jefferson or Lincoln. I think Jefferson only. He says, don't ask what America can do for you. Ask what you can do to America. If you apply the same thing to temple, don't ask what Krishna can do for you, temple can do for you. Ask what you can do to the temple. That is pure bhakti. But of course, as much as possible, it's duty of the management to take care of everyone as much as they can. Then what happens? Servant of servant is very difficult. But at least if we can develop nice relationships with Krishna in the center, then what happens? Temple will grow. ISKCON will grow. ISKCON is a river, transcendental river. Srila Prabhupada started this. We are all, with our three modes, with our conditioning, we are all like tributaries. We are joining that river. We should pray our conditioning should not trouble this organization. So that person, whoever tolerates the inconveniences, and somehow continues, they will attain the favor. Tattenukampam susamikshamano punjana yevatnakatam vipakam ridvagva purvir vidadan namaste. What is the last line? Jive tayo mukti pade sadhaya bhak. Whatever is happening in your life, especially the, things that are very unfavorable, my Lord, for the wrong things I have done, I should be crushed, but you are giving me only this much problem. Thank you. You have reduced the intensity of the problem and you are giving me a little bit. A person who has this consciousness tolerates every difficulty, but waits for Krishna's grace by performing bhakti. That person, for him, liberation is his birthright. Jivetaya muktipade sadaya bhak. So the point is, what is that? I've seen when people are aspiring from a spiritual master or just initiated by a spiritual master, they remain so enthusiastic. But 10 years later, we don't see that. What is the problem of this world? Familiarity. Familiarity breeds contempt. So in order to avoid familiarity, one has to be diligent with the angas of bhakti. One has to be diligent. One has to diligently follow the different aspects of bhakti. So can you believe Swayambhu Manu, he lived for probably, few billion years, but he utilized his lifespan to cleanse his heart and awaken the love of God. When you have little Shraddha, faith, Krishna would connect us to devotees and we get initiated bhajan. Then we get the qualification to perform bhajana kriya. Then anardana vritti, nishta, ruchi, asakti, bhava, prema. So like first year, first sem, second semester, third semester, like say 8th semester. We also have semesters. What are the semesters? Bhajana kriya means taking initiation. Then the first semester is anardana vritti. Second semester is nishta. Third semester is ruchi. Fourth semester asakti. Fifth semester bhava. Sixth semester prema. We need to progress like that. But the problem is it takes long time based on our conditioning, Kali Yuga conditioning. You have done so many wrong things before coming to Krishna consciousness. Then it takes little more time. Doesn't matter. Every round we chant with attention is an eternal credit. Every service we do with sincerely is an eternal credit. Every round we chant sincerely is an eternal credit. Every service we do is an eternal credit. It has to be. It is there in our bank account. Nobody can steal. We have gone far. There is no question of coming back. With that understanding, we should continue to perform bhakti with confidence. Krishna is my protector, Krishna is my maintainer. Rakshatishyati iti vishvaso goptratve vranam tada. Prabhupada came to America with 40 rupees and built 108 temples. That grace is available to everyone. So whatever he built 108 temples, today we have 850 temples, restaurants and educational institutions. That's how our organization multiplied in 50 years actually. So yes, Krishna is waiting to, shower his grace. We should work in such a way. Nityananda Prabhu will petition us. Will present us to Lord Chaitanya. My Lord, see how he is working, how she is working. Radharani presents us. My Lord, see how they are working. Please give them your mercy. We should have a desire. Radharani should smile at us. Wow, he did it. Krishna should smile. Wow, he did it. Amazing. And Nityananda Prabhu, they should look at us smiling. Mahaprabhu, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, any little offering is fine. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted a handful of chipped rice from the hands of Suklambar Brahmachari. But he also accepted a very opulent prasad from the home of Advaitacharya and Sarvam Bhattacharya. But he also accepted Raghunath Das Goswami would go in the night and bring the prasad, rejected with the cows. And that area, this prasad was filled with flies. He would bring and eat that. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted that. So the moral of the story is very simple. Whatever service we do, we should do it diligently for the pleasure of Krishna. From the transcendental point of view, pot washing and yoga class same only. Cooking and pot washing same only. Doing arati and singing same only. Sweeping the floor, they are all same. But if you really want to get the grace out of it, one point is needed. What is that? Put your heart Otherwise it's not bhakti. To go to office, what do we use? Your office is only 2 blocks. How do you go to your office? Use your legs. Yes or no? Similarly, you want to solve a problem, what do? Use your mind. That way, to do bhakti, use your heart. When you are not using your heart, it is not bhakti. You come and stand in Mangalarti. When will Mangalarti be over? When means you already crossed Mangalarti. You are not here. Bhakti Prabhu Maharaj or Bhakti Vaibhav Maharaj, I forgot his, Bhakti Chaudhary Swami disciple, Bhakti Vaibhav Maharaj, right? Anyway, I went with him to Queen's program one day, 3-4 years ago. He said in his class, after chanting 16 rounds for 15 years, I realized I have not chanted 1 round. Whew. For 15 years I have not chanted. When I heard, I should not tell this myself. After chanting for 25 years, I should not tell myself I have not chanted for 25 years. So what he was trying to tell was, I did not put my heart. Bhakti means put your heart. Then no, it is bhakti. So you go to your office, 9 to 5, and you see your cell phone, start working, 5 o'clock, you close everything and come home. Did you work or not? Were you there in the office? But did you work? No. They'll see 1 day, 2 day, 3rd day, after 1 week, once they find out, they terminate us. So likewise, we should try to put our heart in every service that we render for the pleasure of Krishna. Then we'll make progress. So today I said, and I'll take 1 minute to recap, human life is meant for self-realization. And I told the story of Govindadev, how Govindadev protected Raja Jai Singh. And I also told how Raja Jai Singh gave the best, his bedroom, to Govindadev. I told that. And I said, to make progress, we should not criticize any devotees. And we should put our heart in bhakti. And I said, we should not, as much as possible, ISKCON is a transcendental river, and we should not contaminate this river with our conditioning. So when somebody is criticizing you, and it is not true, forgive and tolerate. But don't criticize anybody. If things are not going very well, but you set the example for others to follow. Another point I said, today 99% of the congregation lives outside. So the success of ISKCON depends on what the congregation outside, what they do, But I also said, for them to have an example, temple residents should set a good example, starting with myself. And I also said, bhakti also has semesters. First semester is Anardhanavritti, second sem is Nishta, then third sem Ruchi, Asakti, Bhava, final semester is Prema. So, this is what I spoke. Please forgive me if I have spoken anything wrong. But thank you very much for your patient audience. Any question or comment? Otherwise we'll end it. Any comment? Tulsi Prabhu? May I have any comment?
Just appreciating what you were saying about the good example you put on. How, can you hear me? I don't know. If our heart isn't in it, then it's not bhakti, or
You had said something along those lines, how if our heart isn't in it, then it's not
Yeah, if you
bhakti.
put your heart, then only we are doing bhakti.
Yeah, I was just appreciating that idea.
I also heard from somebody, I liked it actually. Anyone wants to add anything? Any question or comment? Okay.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. You brought up the importance of criticizing devotees and sadhu ninda, and how that's is that hati mata? Or is it
Mad elephant.
yeah, mad elephant offense. I was wondering if you can elaborate. Sometimes we don't understand what it means to criticize devotees. So maybe if you could elaborate on what it actually means, what sadhu ninda actually means, so we can have a more deeper understanding as to how we can avoid those offenses and be conscious of them even within our minds.
Yeah, you already said that what is the first offense of the chanting of the holy name out of 10 offenses? To blaspheme devotees who have dedicated their lives for the propagation of the holy names. It's a mad elephant offense. When a mad elephant enters the garden, what happens? It uproots all the big trees, what to speak of the tiny plants. So we actually know Guru has given us a seed, and by chanting, listening, doing service, we are growing this bhakti plant, tiny bhakti plant. But what happens when a mad elephant enters? It will uproot all the trees and it will crush this plant. So we should not criticize anybody. I am talking to myself. Yes, when you see something wrong, we should tell the management. But we should not do it. One day, I used to live in Singapore actually. This Janananda Prabhu, today he took sannyas, Janananda Goswami. He told in the class he has been, that time he had been chanting for 35 years. That time he said, I raised my question. Sir, Prabhuji, if I have to chant for 35 years, what should I do? I thought he would tell me, don't get up in the morning, chant your own, something like that he would say, I thought. But he raised his finger and said, no Vaishnava aparadha, he said that. Honestly speaking, I didn't understand that time, but now I understood. As long as we don't offend devotees, we'll have the bead bag in our hand. But if you offend devotees, bead bag is taken away. That is the worst thing that will happen actually. If Krishna takes anything away, that is fine, but not the bead bag. One lecture I heard, if you are offending devotees, the holy name shows its mercy. Like sometimes the mother punishes the child to rectify the child, rectify the child's mistake. Likewise, holy name, rather than protecting the devotee, holy name will expose the devotee to 3 modes. And the devotee will do more wrongs, more wrong things. And he will do more mistakes. By the time he or she would realize, so much time is elapsed. So we should not do that. I'm talking to myself. When we don't have control on our tongue, we tend to do this mistake. So we get up in the morning, so difficult to come in the morning, but we come, we chant our rounds day after day, month after month, year after year. But we sell all that by criticizing somebody. We sell in the sense we put, we are willing to lose that actually by criticizing others, especially devotees. One lecture I heard, we should not even criticize outsiders also. Karmi or devotee or non-devotee, we should, by criticizing we cannot change them anyway. So we have come here to perform bhakti. Yes, sometimes we see things happen. We see, things are not stable, not steady. Sometimes things are wrong. You can tell the management to address them. But we should not try to rectify them if we don't have any position. You know? Or if people are willing to listen, we can even tell them humbly. That's what I can tell. Actually, that's why the need of the temple actually here is raise the standards. If you raise the standards, then what happens? If everyone, people come to the Sunday feast, people come to the temple for pure devotional service, small things here and there they'll tolerate. Otherwise, every small thing, hey, why are they like this? If like that, I see 100 problems. No. If you're a sincere congregation member, you're initiated or aspiring to be initiated, we are all here to make this better. Because Srila Prabhupada has given so that future generations also will get benefited out of it actually. So the responsibilities in the management to raise the standards. You know, if everyone comes to learn, everyone comes to hear, to learn, to apply, and go forward in bhakti, then the temple will flourish. Otherwise, temple will be Hindu temple. I just, okay, lecture is nice, but more important than that is prasad. Fine, actually, you can make progress by eating prasad, no problem, but it will take very long time. So when people are not focused, then what happens? Somebody will definitely. ISKCON means it's an international organization, global organization. You see everyone, somebody is in heavy tamogun, somebody is in heavy rajogun, So people in tamogun, rajogun should be willing to listen. Willing to listen. Our progress is based on how much attentive we are in listening, or in reading Srila Prabhupada books, in chanting the holy name. These three things. If people come, no, okay, class is okay. As soon as 7:30 is over, let me get up and go. That number is more. People who are very sincere, that number is very less. And people are not willing to listen, that's where problem comes. That's why all the people in Sunday feast, they should get into the Bhakti Rukshas and learn. Some portion they won't anyway. But the congregation members, whoever is a congregation, they should understand. I should go to temple. Actually, I should go to temple to learn with an intent to change. Otherwise, what happens? It will become a ritual. Usually, Sadhana Swami told Radhesham Prabhu, somebody said, Monday to Friday, make your home a temple, but weekends, make temple your home. Saturday, Sunday, make temple your home. Means, come and do service, you bring your children, expose them to this environment. Recently, no names. So, somebody was getting ready for initiation. So, do you know Samsara Davanala? What is that? This Prabhu never attended Mangalarti. So, unless you attend Mangalarti, how do you know Samsara Davanala? Not like that. I'm sorry, a little late, but please forgive me if I have spoken anything wrong. Thank you very much for your patient audience. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki, Grandhara Śrimad Bhāgavatam ki, Ananta Gota Vaishnava Vrinda ki.